के दिन जिसमें एक इतिहास लिखा गया था। आदरणीय स्वामी विवेकानंद जी को हम शत शत नमन करते हैं और आप सभी का इंडिपेंडेंट रिसर्च एथिक्स सोसाइटी की आयुष समृद्धि ज्ञान गंगा के 1759वें पड़ाव पर पुनः आपका स्वागत करते हैं। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने आज के दिन शिकागो में जो भाषण दिया वो उन्हें हर दिल में बसा गया। उस दिन को याद करते हुए आज विवेकानंद जी हम सब लोगों के लिए प्रेरणा स्रोत हैं, ऐसा हमारा टाइटल आज वेबिनार का है। उसमें सैकत जी, डॉक्टर सैकत कुमार बसु जी बोलेंगे, डॉक्टर सुपर्णा सान्याल जी बोलेंगी और जो भी हम लोगों में से महानुभाव हैं सभी का स्वागत रहेगा। क्योंकि शिकागो यात्रा, शिकागो का भाषण हम सबके मन में बसा हुआ है। बहुत बहुत आभार। मैं आदरणीय विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा जी को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूं उनके उद्बोधन के लिए। आदरणीय विष्णु प्रसाद शर्मा जी।
आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है। प्रोफेसर विष्णु शर्मा जी, आपकी आवाज।
हाँ हाँ,
ठीक।
नमस्कार। अभी आ रहे हैं?
हाँ, आ गया जी,
हाँ,
स्वागत।
नमस्कार। गुड इवनिंग टू एवरीबॉडी, respected distinguished guests, eminent speaker, ladies and gentlemen. I, Professor Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma, welcome all of you to this AYUSH Samriddhi International Webinar Series on Swami Vivekananda Sermon for Next Generation. So in this webinar, we have eminent speaker. I want to welcome Dr. Suparna S. Mukherjee from Bolpur. Namaskar, madam, and welcome you to this Ayush Samriddhi webinar. Next, I want to welcome Dr. Soikat Kumar Basu from Alberta, Canada. Namaskar, sir, and welcome you to this Ayush Samriddhi webinar. Once again, I welcome all the eminent speaker, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to this important Ayush Samriddhi webinar on Swami Vivekananda Sermon for Next Generation.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now I would like to request Professor VK sir for his inaugural. Dr. VK.
Thank you, Professor Sharma ji, and I welcome all the guest speakers of today's evening. बहुत ही प्यारा. Today is the day for listening, especially the delivery which they are going to give our both guest speakers, because being Bengali, it is their full right to say or appreciate the valuable address given by Swami Vivekananda ji at Chicago on this very pious day on the 12th of September. So it is full of knowledge, it is full of support, love, and international brotherhood, international family feeling. बहुत कुछ उन्होंने कहा, कितने तरीके से वहां पहुंचे, कैसे उनको रिकॉग्निशन मिली, कैसे रुके रहे, कब जाके वो उस स्टेज तक पहुंचते हैं। भारत के समस्त धर्म गुरुओं का ही नहीं, भारत की समस्त उस दर्शन शास्त्र को, उस फिलॉसफी को, उस स्पिरिचुअलिटी को, सबको उन्होंने वेस्टर्नर्स को जाके, अमेरिकन को जाके उस बड़ी गैदरिंग में जो कहा, और वो हमेशा हमेशा के लिए मानव जाति के लिए अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर माइंडलेस टूल बन गया। जैसे कि गौतम बुद्ध जी का है कॉन्सेप्ट, हम लोग समझते हैं। इस 18वीं 19वीं शताब्दी में 19वीं शताब्दी में स्वामी विवेकानंद जी हैं, जो कि कहते हैं युग पुरुष हैं, युवा मार्ग प्रेरक हैं, मार्गदर्शक हैं, और बहुत ही प्रेरणादायक स्पीच, जिसके लिए आज वो अच्छे से विश्वविख्यात है। और वहां से लेके जो विवेकानंद जो रॉक तक पहुंचे हैं, कुमारी हमारी जो कन्याकुमारी तक, तो वो एक भारत की कृतज्ञता है जो उनके प्रति देते हैं, भारत की जनता की। भारत माता तो सबसे ऊपर है, उनकी क्या कृतज्ञता, लेकिन भारत की जनता का स्नेह है जो उनके प्रति हमेशा बहता है। इन्हीं कुछ प्रारंभिक शब्दों के साथ में हम पुनः अपने आज के अतिथियों का हृदय से स्वागत करते हुए उनका आभार व्यक्त करते हैं कि वो उन्होंने कीमती समय निकाला है हमारी आज के इस वेबिनार पर अपनी टॉक देने के लिए। मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा। मैं डिस्कोर्स जानता था, उनकी ब्लेसिंग्स जानता था, अच्छी चीज जानता था, सरी मनोम करके जो शब्द दिया है, ये भी उपदेश और धर्मोपदेश का लिए यूज किया जाता है। मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा। तो आज वही चर्चा हमारे आज के अतिथि लोग करने जा रहे हैं। आई अगेन वेलकम बोथ द गेस्ट स्पीकर्स ऑफ टुडेज वेबिनार, मैडम अपर्णा सान्याल मुखर्जी जी एंड डॉक्टर जोशी। थैंक यू सो मच एंड ओवर टू प्रोफेसर फंक्शन। मैडम ने ज्वाइन कर लिया है।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा। वो एक भाषण विवेकानंद जी को विवेकानंद जी बना गया। इतना शानदार भाषण था कि तालियां बजती रहीं। और वहां धर्म संसद में एक ऐसा इतिहास लेकर आ गया जो आज तक शताब्दियों बाद भी हमें याद है। मैं सहकत कुमार बसु जी को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूं उनके विचारों के लिए।
Thank you, Sharma ji. Because Madam has been traveling, may I request you to kindly allow Madam Suparna ji to speak first? Because I have reached home, so it is no
श्योर
problem if
श्योर
it is
श्योर
little late.
श्योर श्योर
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you.
प्लीज इनवाइट यूर अवर पिलर मैडम सुपर्णा सान्याल मुखर्जी मैडम, वेलकम।
Okay, very good evening, and really feel very proud of that I have to say something on Swami Vivekananda. It's my privilege to convey my best regards and gratitude to the AYUSH SAMRIDDHI platform along with the dignitaries who are present here. Today is the auspicious day that I am giving such and get the opportunity to say something on Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born in 1863 as Narendranath in a Bengali caste family. He was monk, a chief disciple of the Indian mystic Ramakrishna and the founder of Ramakrishna Math. In 1888, Narendranath left the monastery and traveled extensively in India for 5 years. In 1893, Vivekananda represented and the Hinduism, especially here he represented the India and Hinduism in the Parliament of the World's Religion in Chicago. In 1894, he founded the Vedanta Society in New York. At the same time, he opened the society for the study, practice, and propagate the principles of Vedanta. And he has the knowledge and he has the courage to explore the Vedanta, and he has done it for his development, the development of the soul of the own being. He was a key figure in the introduction of the Indian philosophies of Vedanta and Yoga to the Western world. He raised interfaith awareness as his two favorable books being Bhagavad Gita and the Intimation of Christ, and contributed to the concept of nationalism in colonial India. In 1902, he died at the age of 39, with the rescue of blood vessels in his brain being the possible cause of his death. So this is the time period. At a glance, what Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda was. But he has, in these 39 years, he has created a different world. He is the greatest youth icon produced by India, and one that influenced millions of youth across the world. In the 21st century, when the youth of India are facing new problems, pushing boundaries and aspiring for a better future, thoughts of Swami Vivekananda have become more relevant. He said, awake, arise, and not stop till the goal is reached. His ideas can be understood by this fourfold mantra: to live a meaningful life, physical, social, intellectual, and spiritual quest. What is the physical quest? Physical quest, he has emphasized on the physical, like the quest, he meant that taking care of the human body and undertaking activities to mitigate physical sufferings. Vivekananda was of the view that the youth can lead a successful life only when they are physically fit. So he was emphasized on that the youth, the young generation should be play and should be in the game, because he thinks that he has explored the Bhagavad Gita, at the same time the Vedanta's philosophy of senses, like the life is a game you have to play. Still such time you are not playing, you should not have the game spirit. The game spirit is the spirit which can lead you in your socio-cultural life, and your whole aspects or the whole life you can develop yourself through this game. Vivekananda understood that while most youth aspire, not all are equipped with the mental and physical stamina to pursue such a goal. So everyone should not reach to their goal, but everyone has to reach to their goal, but with the knowledge and courage. Therefore, he asked the youth to overcome fears and become stronger physically and mentally. He said, power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak. Therefore, arise, awake, and stop till not the goal is reached. So every possibilities and probabilities is within you. Whatever thing by yourself, you can do it, because this 39 years he has created the world, and the different world, the total world of Hinduism and the Sanatan Hinduism. He said, you will be nearer to heaven through football than through the study of the Gita. If you study Gita, you can study it, you can acquire knowledge, but you can reach to the heaven through your game practice for your physical activities. What Vivekananda wanted from the youth was muscles of iron and nerves of steel. So muscle strength, whenever you can get the muscle strength, your brain activities will be developed automatically. Then he was emphasized on the social quest. The social quest, Vivekananda wanted the young to understand social activities not merely for the betterment of society, but also for their individual evolution and growth. So till such time you cannot make yourself better, you cannot make the society better. So first, to make the society better, first you have to make yourself better, because you are the first person of the society. The social quest involves undertaking activities to mitigate physical sufferings, running hospitals, orphanages, and the old age homes, quality of this level, and those who are disabled, those who are the otherwise able, to procure the ability from this disabled. That is your social quest, the social activities you can develop yourself. He advised the youth to serve God in man. That's why Vivekananda said, Jibe prem kore jei jon, সেই জন সেবিছে ঈশ্বর. So Jiv is the every individual. Jiv is not only the human being. Jiv is the animal kingdom. Jiv is the plant kingdom. Jiv is the human kingdom. He said, for the next 50 years of this alone shall be your keynote. This our great mother India. Let all other gods disappear for the time from your minds. So you should be advise, you should be giving your all potentiality and all acumen to the development of the society. He thought that the men and animals around us are our gods, deserve our worship and services. He asserted that the first god we have to worship our own countrymen. So he said, there is no caste, color, creed. All countrymen is our brother. He developed the brotherhood. He developed the brother and sisterhood. This we have to worship instead of being jealous of each other and fighting with each other. The most unique contribution of Swami Vivekananda towards the creation of a new Bharat was opening the minds of Indians to their duty to the downtrodden. So he was emphasized the better India, the developed India. He was emphasized in the brotherhood and the sisterhood, and for the social cause to give respect, to gain respect, not the jealous with each other, not the any kind of jealousness should be there in the human being, the youth especially. Then only if there is no jealous, then you can develop yourself, your mind, your heart, your soul, and your physical strength. Then he was emphasized on the intellectual quest. He said, it is the young, the strong and healthy of sharp intellect, and that will reach the Lord. Who is the Lord? Lord is the Almighty. Lord is the Jesus Christ. Lord is the Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Lord is the Krishna. The Lord is the Rama. Whatever name we can call the Lord, Lord is the Almighty. He advocated intellectual quest, that is running school, college and awareness and empowerment programs, raising one's intellectual level, gaining knowledge and spreading and sharing it with society. It is objectives. He suggested that to rebuild the Indian society, education was the primary means for empowering the people. He emphasized on education for all. At that time, he was emphasized that education for all, and we are implementing in 1986 education policy that the education for all. So we have taken so many 200, 150 years, 100 years afterwards we realize that what he has said. He also said education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain and runs right there and undigested. All your life, we must have the life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. So you must make your character first. All the youth should make their character first. Then the spiritual quest. Spiritual quest, he said, that prescribes the highest level of spiritual service, one of dhyan and sadhana. Dhyan and sadhana is your prime factor. He suggested that youth could learn many things from the West, but must have faith in our own spiritual heritage. Today, when our youth find themselves gripped by increasing isolation, purposefulness, depression, and mental fatigue, despite mental success, they must go for a spiritual quest and achieve greater goals. He said, life is short, but the soul is immortal and eternal. And one thing being certain, that death. Let us therefore take up a great ideal and give up our whole life to it. The transition of triumph and material wealth were central of this philosophy. And he challenged the youth to live for a noble reason, a mighty ideal and a higher state, so that they were able to transcend the interpersonalization and the impersonations. So when the building of the selfness, the self-soul and self-ideological point of view, self-activities, self-things, then only we can develop the other things. He was belief in the Almighty, and he said the Sanatana Hinduism is a so scientific causes, and there is so scientific in each and every aspect. If we can read the Veda, the Upanishad, we can automatically learn how we can control ourselves in every aspect. Then he emphasized on the nation building. He advised that these four coexist as an ideal and goal for the youth. If the youth are strong, then the nation will be the strong. The purpose of these services was to raise the individual and national consciousness as a whole. And that's why he called upon the youth to focus their collective energies towards nation building. His vision of India was that of a transformed society inspired by the dignity, freedom, and individuality, and rooted in strength, love, and service. He dreamed that such a Bharat would be an egalitarian society that would have broken out of the nations of high or low. He also talked about the unity of society, something that finds an echo in today's world, that is when he witnessed conflict at various levels. Swami Vivekananda said, the solution of the caste problem in India is not to degrade the higher caste, but to raise the lower up to the level of the higher. So this is the thing, when we can think that the backbenchers, those who are the lower caste, they were seated they are identified at the backbenchers, and the higher caste was the front benchers. But today's life, it is the Shatya Yuga he was telling, and today the Kali Yuga, that is the backbenchers have come to the front benchers, so the front benchers go again to the backbenchers. This is the situation. And the Swami Vivekananda has aspired the India, what he was aspired, and today's life we are just realizing. And in that case, when he gave in the lecture in the Chicago, then when he have came back, there was no one has received, no one has given him the single word congratulation after his 100 years of birth. Then we realize, and we have giving the honor to him by walking from Bajbaj to Bedunmot. So this road, when he was come across, so Swami Vivekananda and is often aptly described the Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, he explained that his techniques through his own life. He closed the path of spiritual consciousness and tried to assuage the mental and physical sufferings of others in this physical world. So when you can enrich yourself, when you can realize the other problems, when you can realize the who are suffering for what, and if you can assist them, then only assistance will come to you through the universe, because it is the cosmic energy will enrich you through the ether world, in the world as such. The relevance of Swami Vivekananda today is with the ideals and goals that he advised the youth: awake, arise, and not stop. Still the goal is reached. He was a great observer of human mind and the human society at large. Therefore, the profound the scientific way of achieve these goals through this quest. So wherever we can reach, we can should learn, we can remind, and we can always think the Swami Vivekananda's life and what Swami Vivekananda was said, for the each and every words of him is scientific. So on the aspects of this, if I can say more and more, it will be it should not be, the words will be very limitation, because our time is very limitation. We cannot say the so many things for him. But on these days, and to give the respect of Swami Vivekananda, I just sing a song to give his honor and my respect to him. And for the youth should know the sing which I am going to sing. That is the song which I am going to sing. The song was written by the Rajnikant Sen, who was the also eminent Bengali poet. তুমি নির্মল করো মঙ্গল করে মলিন মর্ম মুছায়। তুমি নির্মল করো মঙ্গল করে মলিন মর্ম মুছায়। তব পুণ্য কিরণ দিয়ে যাক মোর মোহ কালি ঘুচায় মলিন মর্ম মুছায় লক্ষ শূন্য লক্ষ বাসনা ছুটিছে গভীর ধারে জানি না অকুল গরল পাথারে প্রভু বিশ্ব বিপদ হন্তা এসে দাঁড়াও রুধিয়া পন্থায় আমি দেখি তব চরণ তলে নিয়ে সমর মত বাসনা গুছায় মলিন মর্ম মুছায় তুমি নির্মল করো মঙ্গল করে মলিন মর্ম মুছায় আছো অনল অনিলে চির নভূ ভূধান সলিলে আছো বিটপিল শশীতারকায় তপনে আমি নয়নে বাসন বাঁধিয়া বসে আধারে মরি গো কাঁদিয়া আমি দেখি নাই কিছু বুঝি নাই কিছু দাও হে দেখাই বুঝায় মলিন মর্ম মুছায় তুমি নির্মল করো মঙ্গল করে মলিন মর্ম মুছায় তব পুণ্য কিরণ দিয়ে যাপর মোহ কালিমা ঘুচায় মলিন মর্ম মুছায়। থ্যাংক ইউ, নমস্কার।
गजब गजब मैडम, आप जय हो जय हो जय हो। अग्निहोत्री सर।
बिल्कुल समा बांध दिया, इतना बढ़िया। एक तो उनके जो कृतित्व और व्यक्तित्व के बारे में चर्चा की, उनकी यूथ के प्रति जो संदेश के लिए चर्चा की, और खुद युवावस्था में ही ये शरीर छोड़ दिए। ये 39 साल की उम्र ही कितनी होती है, लेकिन क्या धमाका कर गए हैं पूरे विश्व में। अपने देश की सीमाओं से बाहर जाके जो संदेश दिया, वो जैसा कि बड़े दुख के साथ उन्होंने कहा कि उनके जाने के बाद 100 साल की जब जयंती मनाएगी तब उनको वो मान सम्मान और एक रिकॉग्निशन मिली। और आज हम सब लोग उनके उस व्यक्तित्व के लिए ऋणी हैं जो संदेश उन्होंने विश्व मानवता और ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स कह के जो शुरुआत की, जिसमें कि सोच ही मनुष्य की, भारत के बाहर के लोगों की सोच ही बदल गई कि भारत है एक व्यक्ति इतना स्नेह करता है पूरी मानव जाति से, जो कि भूमंडल पर कहीं भी उपस्थित है। और जो उन्होंने प्रस्तुति संगीत की दी, वो तो बहुत ही कर्णप्रिय और अच्छा गायन हुआ। और बंगालीज का जो एक सेट पैटर्न है वो उसकी याद दिला गया। आपका बहुत बहुत आभार है मैडम मुखर्जी मैडम। नमस्कार।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
नमस्कार नमस्कार।
मैं अब डॉक्टर सकत कुमार बसु को सादर आमंत्रित करता हूँ। डॉक्टर सकत कुमार बसु जी।
Thank you, Sharma ji, Agnihotri ji.
नमस्कार
It is
नमस्कार।
once again, namaskar, namaskar. It is once again a great pleasure to be on your platform. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share something on this auspicious day of Swami Vivekananda. And I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude and thanks to Professor Mukherjee for an outstanding deliberation, and how nicely he ended the talk with a very, very touchy song that has the weight of every word of that song. If you know Bengali, is very, very heavy. So it's a very outstanding presentation. I congratulate her for enlightening us so much. So I'm not going to, as I always try to end the part in not trying to repeat anything that has been said before. So I would like to highlight a few things that, outside Bengal, many few people possibly are not aware of these great speech and stuff. So few of the things that I would like to highlight. Agnihotri ji and both Sharma ji said about, like, definitely as a Bengali, every Bengali is very proud of Swami Vivekananda ji, and I mean you will find his worshippers in every household in across Bengal from north to south. But it is sad to mention that when he was struggling, like, he had a very short life. He only survived up to 39. The extensive hard work that he did, and he didn't get enough nutrition and support and stuff, and his health break down significantly, and he passed away at a very young age. Had this man had a full life to spend, or if he would have been able to reach up to 60 or 70, I think he would have made even more wonders. But nonetheless, what he provided is no less than rediscovering India to the whole world. I'll talk a little bit about the significance about the speech, but I would also like to highlight about this, that although we are Bengalis today, we are so much proud of Swami Vivekananda ji, and Madam has been very correct in highlighting this feature, that 100 years after his passing away, that today we are celebrating and we are rediscovering and understanding the impact Swami Vivekananda ji had at a global level on the spread of Hinduism, the importance of Hinduism, and bringing India to the upfront at a global stage. He was not actually very well supported in Bengal. I mean, that Bengal is different from the small West Bengal that we have today. It is the pre-colonial, the Bengal, which included Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, the Bengal province in those days. I mean, he did not had very strong support from the Bengalis in the initial. I mean, he definitely had some people were supportive of his great talent and stuff, but there were many oppositions. Even after he made India great in those international conference of Parliament of Religion in Chicago in United States, he was heavily criticized. He didn't get the support and stuff that he should have got at that particular. There were many people who were very strong critics of his way of defining Hinduism, or his way of establishing the Math and the mission and things like that. Where did he get the greatest help? I do not know whether many people know about this. This visit to the Parliament of Religion was not known to Swami Vivekananda ji at the time when he was traveling India. So I consider this man not only to a global citizen, but more than Bengali, he is one of the greatest citizens of India. He could have become a monk and led a secluded life sitting in a corner of Calcutta, where he and his guru brothers were all doing meditation, yapas, and all kinds of personal, religious practices. But one day he decided that after the demise of his guru and our very beloved Sri Ramakrishna Deva, that he needs to travel to this country rather than living into the safe fort of their mott and mission. There was this Baranagar mott at that time, which was in a deplorable condition. There used to be snakes, poisonous snakes in their courtyard and stuff. And most days they didn't even had anything to eat. There were many days when all these Guru brothers had a handful of rice that they have baked from the locality, and a little bit of sakanya, which is like little bit of green vegetables and stuff. Many days they survived only, or for months they survived only on like a little bit of salt and a rice. If you look into today, the huge clusters of Swamis and Swamijis and Mahatmas and Mahapurushes that rule India and travel across the country, the quality of the 5-star lifestyle they have is unimaginable pain and unimaginable dedication to his cause that this man has shown. That today, I formally say I do not have this respect for the so-called Mahatmas, Rishis and stuff of modern day India. This man has shown what sacrifice is. And through this sacrifice, he earned this respect. Like, today we see Mahatmas and Maharishis and Mahayogis and great Swamis. And then a few days back, we see that they are in the jail. They may have hundreds and thousands of followers, but whether they have created a position in the heart of India, I have very serious doubt. nonetheless, this is something else to talk about. This man, when he traveled all across India, he went to Rajasthan, which was Rajputana at that particular point of time. His greatest help came never from the Bengalis. His greatest help came from the Maharaja of Khetri, a princely state in Rajasthan, where when he was traveling, people, when he was giving the lectures, the Maharaja of that particular state got to know about his outstanding knowledge and his way of explaining religion, that he invited him to his palace, and they were very amazed to listen to this young man, and they became a lifelong friends. Not many people across India knew that Swami Vivekananda, even after becoming the great Vivekananda, had to appear in the court long time back, because there was some property related issues in his family and stuff, and his mother was helpless. His father died at a young age, I mean, when he just finished his education and stuff. For a long time, with the talent and the outstanding quality that he had, it is surprising to mention he found no job in Bengal in that particular period of time. He also worked in a school where one of the other legendary figures like Vidyasagar helped him to get a job and stuff, but he was not able to retain that job for long. So he suffered from extreme poverty. And this is before Vivekananda became Vivekananda, that there were days when he was at home, and his mother they had a household help, a lady that has worked for them for a long years, and he heard one day that his mother is saying to that lady that, we could not provide you anymore the salary, because his father is gone. So I would request you to leave this job, because we have nothing to offer to you. But that lady said that I do not need a salary. I have worked for when his father was there, and I worked for these three young kids. Vivekananda ji has two other younger brothers at that point of time. Both were very famous scholars later on. But it pained him, just like an ordinary individual. It pained him so intensely that many days when he came to home, he found that the little food that his mother is putting on the table or in the plates of him and his brother, the mother has remained starving for days. So it was unbearable for any other that he would have. This great soul then decided that he could not stay home. There were many instances to save the food so that his mother could have something and his friends could have something. I mean, his younger brothers could have something. This man told his mother that today I have invitation from this friend. I'm going to go and eat and stuff and things like that. Actually, he went starving so that at least they could put something on the plate of her mother and the brothers and stuff. Later, down the line, when he became this famous Vivekananda, he had to appear in court for some family-related disputes. His father was a legendary lawyer of Bengal at that point with a very substantial income. And he was such a nice person who donated so much money to so many people. He didn't save much for his family. So when he passed away, Vivekananda's family went through one of the harshest life that even we could imagine. I do not know that whether people outside Bengal know about this, but I believe, and we all ask, that he is almost like a son of God to us. He's almost like Jesus to us as being Hindus, that why did God made him go through so much pain, so much atrocious pain and stuff? He suffered from poverty so much. I would share this painstaking and painful story that once he went, it was when Sri Ramakrishna, before he became a monk, that he went to Sri Ramakrishna and said that he could not take this pain anymore to see his mother starving. See, he could not give up his life because, like suicide is a crime in Hinduism. What to do? So Sri Ramakrishna told him that, why are you telling me? Why don't you go and tell the Mata, go and tell Goddess Kali about your pain, ask for a job, ask for some sustenance and stuff, and your life will be changed. Don't tell me, I am your guru, but tell to the Supreme Goddess. She will find you a way. This is a historic story. And every time he went to pray to Goddess Kali, he could not ask for money. Every time he went there for looking for a job, he could not say that to Goddess Kali. Every time Sri Ramakrishna sent him to Goddess Kali, he said that, oh mother, divine mother, give me strength. Give me the ability to help others. Give me the divine knowledge. Give me the wisdom. Give me the strength to get closer to you. Give me the strength to know the austerity. Give me the strength to fight this battle so that I get to know you better. Give me the light so that I can understand the super consciousness that we call religion. So when he came back, his guru told him that realize you are not born for getting a job. This painstaking process that you are going through, God has a plan for you. So prepare yourself. I assure you that God will support you. You may not become rich in the terms of the material world, but you will become rich in the terms of millions of people across the world at one point of time. Remember, this is your path of preparation. So you will never have to worry about a bowl of rice and coarse clothes for your family. Move ahead with your life. You will find solace at the end of the journey. And don't think about yourself. Think about the world. Think about not what you are getting. Think about what you can give back to this world. So this was when Sri Ramakrishna was alive. But after his demise, when he had turned into a monk and he was traveling across India, this was same like to know this country. And in his innumerable writings, he said that these traveling of India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from the stretches coastal Bengal to the edges of Rajasthan and coastal Gujarat, he saw the pain of the ordinary people of India. How the downcast, how people belonging to the lower caste are treated in India, how miserable is their life, how much hatred is there, how much hunger is there. So he forget the hunger that he used to have, and he forgot the pain when he looked into the eyes of so much Indians. He said that why are we becoming monks and what is this great richness when hundreds and thousands of Indians across this country from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is starving. We do not need to give them the teachings of Gita. We need to give them rice for them to sustain. Only when they can live and survive, they will be able to understand Gita. As Madam has beautifully illustrated in her speech before, no one, including, I would take responsibility saying that no one, including Ramanuj to Sri Chaitanya Dev to Kabir to any other, our religious gurus that have come forward, has defined Gita in this way, has defined the pain of life in this way. So he had a monumental change, and I sincerely believe that the pain that he went through, the struggle and the hardship that he saw, actually, this is what made Vivekananda the Vivekananda. It was like that he moved from the frying pan to the frigid. Many times his life was at stake, but strangely, many times he was saved from like what you call the verge of death by strange incidents happened to him. Someone came forward, some communities came forward and helped him. Another biggest help that came from India, that before he moved for the Western countries or for United States and stuff, came from Southern India. When he was traveling through southern India and he was delivering speeches and stuff, and he get close to know the Tamil people, how they supported Vivekananda. There is one of his disciples was Alasinga Perumal, and there are countless lectures that Alasinga Perumal and the letters of exchange between his disciple Alasinga Perumal and Swami Vivekananda was outstanding in the sense that he expressed the solidarity, the help, the support. They were not rich, but they extended their best help that they could at that particular point of time. Not many people know that when this great Vivekananda, when he was known all over to the world, his mother has nothing to eat, and he was a sannyasi, so he could not hoard money. Not many people know this, that the Maharaja of Khetri prepared for a pension for Vivekananda's mother so that this poor lady could sustain. No Bengalis came to her rescue. No Raja Maharajas. Bengal was a princely state with hundreds of princely rich people, zamindar, feudal lords. No one came to his aid. None. Not only people who disliked him, even people who liked him did not came for support of his family and stuff. His mother was starving. And that great lady, this was provided by the Maharaja of Khetri. And this going to this international, Parliament of Religion was also proposed by the Maharaja of Khetri. He said that Swamiji, like we want you to take this message of Hinduism, the new Hinduism, or that same Hinduism that you are explaining in such lucid words to the world. This needs to go and to be heard on the world. And where do you go? In that time, he said, not Vivekananda ji, but the Maharaja of Khetri, these United States, at that time, USA was not that powerful, that these United States is the cornerstone of education, cornerstone of religion, cornerstone of social development. You need to go to USA, you need to deliver speeches, you need to talk in the parliament of religion. He was not even confident that he should go. This money and stuff and all the help, support, paper, documents and stuff, all was organized by partly by the Maharaja of Khetri. He did the best that he could do, and others were done by the people in South India. His innumerable disciples for South India helped, some from Bengal and other states. But as Bengalis, we take so much pride in Vivekananda. No great rich person supported him at that time. So he took a long travel. Not many possible people know that he actually didn't go to United States from India through, like, by waterways. Where he landed first is where I have been there, is Vancouver. He actually traveled from India and landed in Vancouver in Canada. And from Vancouver, he traveled to United States by road, in roads. So the like, as you could know, that Canada is a fearfully cold country. And this man landed on the ship after traveling for so much long time with very little money left. He was surviving in, packing boxes and stuff in the Vancouver port. And suddenly, like when he was freezing to death there because he didn't have appropriate clothes for surviving in Canada, many people from Western countries and culture who came in contact accidentally with him, provided him with contacts, provided him with food and clothes, that finally he was able to travel from Canada into United States at that. And that journey is a long, long journey. USA and Canada may be adjacent countries, but the distance from one city to another is humongous. And it was not so easy in those days to travel those countries at that particular point of time in history. So to make the long story short, he got way more support in Western countries. Everybody who came in his contact, in his aura, realized that this is not only a great scholar, but a great soul. So it was white people, Christians, who extended great financial support and help for him to travel from one city to another, finally reaching Chicago, the Parliament of Religion. By the time he was there were many who were actually helped him to get, the admission to this point, because it is very strange. Hinduism is one of the premier world religion, but you would be astonished to know that in this Parliament of Religion, there were Buddhism to Jainism to atheists to Christianity to Islam, and their various branches and stuff. Every single religious branch was invited. The only religion that was not invited to that particular front is Hinduism, the ancient most religion of the world. So Vivekananda not only represented Hinduism on that particular stage, I strongly believed that he represented the colonial India. He represented the soul of India. He represented the million, there were not million Indians at that time, but those hundreds and thousands of people who were colonized by the British. For the first time, the Western world got to learn and understand the great depths of Hinduism. And if you talk in Sanskrit and talk about the slokas and stuff, it would have been impossible for them to understand. So he went down into the simplest and the simplest form in explaining one of the deepest aspects of Hindu philosophy, as has been explained in our Vedas, as has been exposited in Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, in our other ancient scriptures, Sanhitas, and also Bhagavad Gita. What beautiful way of saying is this? As Sri Ramakrishna has said, that we are all on the same quest. He said that this way, whether in Christian and Islamism and other religion and stuff, there is always a way of saying that my religion is the best and the rest of the world is the worst. Your religion is a barbaric religion. He was the first in the world to establish this, that we are not pursuing different pathways. We may be following a different culture, we may be following a different way of traveling, we may have different cultural costumes and stuff, we may have a different history or a heritage, but the salvation path that we are following, whether you are in Islam or whether you are in Hinduism or Buddhism, or whether you are following it in Christianity, you are following the same path has been said by the most ancient religion of the world. And what is that? That the waters coming from the mountains, hundreds and thousands of rivers that come from various directions, ultimately come and merge into the great mother ocean. So the knowledge, the pathways for salvation, the hunger for knowing God, the hunger for knowing yourself or thyself, may follow different pathways, may follow different branches, but ultimately they come and merge into the same ocean. The color of the water of the river may be green, sometimes muddy, sometimes yellow, sometimes bluish, but ultimately they come and mix together into one big azure ocean. Which means that whatever religious path you may be following, don't think that this is the best and the others are following the wrong path. Learn that everyone is following the same direction as you are doing. Maybe you are calling it water, someone is calling it pani, someone is calling it jal, someone is calling it amrit. You may have a different name for Allah, you may have a different name for Ram, you have a different name for Buddha, or Jesus, but you are following the same path. You will come together at the highest consciousness. You will get to realize that you are all following the same path. So give away the hatred about other religion. Try and understand and aspect and try and respect other religions. It is not the case of Hinduism only as a superior religion. It is a religion that teaches us not only to follow your path, but also to respect other religions, also to know the good from other path, integrate and absorb that and move forward in the quest of the journey for God, in the quest of journey for humanity. He suggested that it is not that you are just looking for God and getting salvation. If you get salvation, how does it matter? You became a divine person. Is it going to impact the hundreds and thousands of people? But if you have the divinity in you and you are giving your life and services for others in whichever way to people, and hundreds and thousands and millions across the continents are benefiting from them, then this is the divine path that we are talking about. That is the greatest salvation that we are talking about. Think about Buddha, think about others, how they have diluted into the body and soul of hundreds and thousands of people, so that hundreds and thousands years after, we are still trying to follow their path. So give up hatred for other religion. Take out that sunglass that you have on your eyes. Don't become blind, but see the light and move towards the light. And if you truly reach that light, you will realize that everyone is same. A person following that religion or Y religion or Z religion is no different from other, because we are all trying to reach toward that supreme consciousness. No one else in the world has said this before Swami Vivekananda. I think even the Charter of Human Rights of the United Nations has very significant aspect today of the speech that was delivered by Swami Vivekananda. So it has not only a religious appeal, it has not only a re-identification of Hinduism or re-establishment of Hinduism as a global ancient religion for the entire world, but it also establishes humanity as the core of any religious thought. Any religion without humanity, without thinking about God, but forgetting the human, is not a religion, he said. It is through humans that you will be able to see God. So treat the person good and you will be able to reach God. If you treat the individual inhumanly and you think you will be reaching God, then it is a fantasy. It is not a religion. And when you become too much religious, there is a thin line of becoming religious and fanatics at the same time, because then you stop listening to others. So it is our duty and our morality to live in this world of ethics, to understand, appreciate others, move towards the supreme consciousness of education and learning, and get closer to God by serving the people. By not serving the people, he said, you are never going to reach your God in whichever religious pathways you are following. So with this, I conclude my presentation today. And I know that for next 1,000 years, his speech and his inspiration will continue to guide the light, as serve as a beacon for rudderless sheep like us to find our way to the port. So thank you very much to Ayush Samriddhi for giving me this opportunity, and thank you everyone for being a part. I am humbled and I'm extremely grateful for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, and great. So I mean, I would like to say my great salvage and my great pranam to Swami Vivekananda and his legacy. Let him guide our discourse in the future. Let there be peace. Let there be life. Let there be people. And I believe that this will lead you to God. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Really, you narrated whole of the background of his development, his story, and the struggle of his life. And I felt that at times you became much emotional because of the hardship he faced to become Vivekanand, and the non-cooperation from, especially from the Bengal presidency in those days, and of course not well deserved recognition in India after his coming from Chicago. Really, this is our poorest of the poor understanding of we Indians, that we only realize then when a person either has gone or been recognized by the outsiders of our country. This is what happened with him, and with a very short life. Probably he was sent to on our Earth planet by the God, that this much is the assignment he has to chucked out in the world, and he did. So we can think good for his long life, but whatever the life is being blessed to him, he made it 100%, the other 200%, 1,000% perfect, and we are still remembering him, and his pathways are really, his guidelines are really a great motivation for each and every person, especially to the youth. Thank you so much for narrating whole of his lifetime development and disturbances and difficulties. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Agnihotriji. Thank you.
गुड नाइट सर। बंद करें आप कहें तो, या किसी के वक्तव्य?
अब हम कह नहीं सकते, टाइम तो हो गया। अभी थोड़ी देर के लिए बीच में सुतपा जी भी जुड़ गई थी, एक बार ज्वाइन किया था। अभी कंक्लूड करवा लीजिए, आदरणीय गुरुदेव जी हैं, दो बार शुभरात्रि कर चुके थे, पुनः उपस्थित हम लोगों के साथ में, तो उनके आशीर्वचन के रूप में दोनों ही, एक मेडिकल एक नॉन मेडिकल वेबिनार्स में उनके विचारों का बहुत बहुत आशीर्वादों का बहुत बहुत इंतजार है। स्वागत है सर गुरुदेव, प्रणाम। प्रोफेसर लक्ष्मीकांत द्विवेदी जी, नमस्कार।
सभी विद्वानों को नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
आज की दोनों वेबिनार मैंने कुछ सुनी, गणपति पूजा के उसमें कहीं व्यस्त थे, तो
अच्छा।
फिर भी वो लैपटॉप से मोबाइल पे आने पे शुभरात्रि करी थी, और
अच्छा जय हो।
आपने पुनः जोड़ दिया, उसके लिए धन्यवाद। दूसरा ये कि जो पहली वेबिनार थी उसमें जो वंध्यत्व पे चर्चा हुई, तो फिर एक शब्द मेरे को नया ज्ञानवर्धक मिला, पुरुष वंध्यत्व वाला। हम तो उसको क्लैब्य या नपुंसक उस श्रेणी में रखते हैं, और फिर वाजीकरण द्रव्य का पूरा चैप्टर है, किंतु स्त्री वंध्यत्व के लिए वो वाजीकरण द्रव्य कितने काम आते हैं ये तो विद्वान वक्ता ही बताएंगे, और जो वक्ता ने पुरुष वंध्यत्व के लिए अगला कभी रखा वो भी चर्चा सत्र सुनेंगे तो समझ पाएंगे। तो मेरी तो मोटी समझ इतनी सी है कि जो जब तक ध्वजभंग है तब तक कोई भी वाजीकरण द्रव्य काम नहीं करेगा, और जब आप लेप सेकादि करके ठीक कर लेते हैं तो उसके बाद में क्लेब्य चिकित्सा या उस तरह से वाजीकरण द्रव्य देने से उसमें परिणाम मिलेंगे। और जहाँ तक बीज दोष की बात है, तो शुक्र है, मतलब वो बीज है उसमें, जहाँ नहीं होते हैं उसके लिए कोई अलग से टर्म निकाली हो तो बात अलग है। बाकी हम तो जो शुक्र धातु का अंतिम जो कार्य है वो गर्भोत्पादस्य धातु नाम है ना, तो क्रम से है,
जी
और अंतिम श्रेष्ठम कर्मम क्रमाश्रितम करके लिखा है उन्होंने। तो इसलिए उसमें बीज भी संवत हो जाता है वाजीकरण द्रव्य देने से, शुक्राणु भी बनेंगे। और बहुत सारी लंबी लिस्ट है वाजीकरण के द्रव्यों की, और फिर शुक्र के श्रुति वृद्धि और उस तरह से श्रुति वृद्धि कर 3 भेद तो किए हैं, और यूनानी में और भी भेद कर रखे हैं। और उन द्रव्यों का प्रयोग करते हुए प्रयोजन के अनुसार उसको काम में लेने से शुक्राणु संजनन भी होता है। और अगर बीज दोष ही है, शुरू से ही नहीं है, बचपन से ही, या कोई व्याधि ऐसी हो गई, उसके बाद तो वहाँ शुक्राणु जनन की बात ही नहीं है, वो उसको आप कुछ भी संज्ञा दें। बाकी नपुंसकत्व के विभिन्न भेद हैं, वो वंध्यत्व से भिन्न हैं, इसलिए थोड़ा सा कभी इसको चर्चा करेंगे इसी तरह से।
जी
क्योंकि कामसूत्र में अलग स्वरूप में है पुरुष प्रधान के होने से, या चरक संहिता में भी है तो उस तरीके से। और ये है कि साहब शुक्र दोनों में होता है, और दोनों में शुक्र के लिए दोष निवारण के द्रव्य अलग अलग है, इतना ही कह के। और दूसरा जो आज का विवेकानंद जी के जो इतिहास है वो वास्तव में बहुत ज्ञानवर्धक है। और विद्वान वक्ता ने ऐसी मतलब अनसुनी बात, जो वास्तव में आश्चर्य होता है कि सब समाज में जहां उन्होंने सेवा करी वहां कोई उनके धनी धोरी नहीं रहे, और राजस्थान से किसी राजा को उनके लिए कुछ व्यवस्था करने का प्रयास करना पड़ा। तो ये वास्तव में मेरे लिए तो नई जानकारी है, मैं तो राजस्थान का ही रहने वाला हूँ, खेतड़ी नरेश के बारे में भी कुछ जानते हैं, किंतु ये वास्तव में जो विद्वान वक्ता ने बताया वो इंफॉर्मेटिव है और ज्ञानवर्धक है। इसी के साथ में मैं सभी को धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
जय
नमस्कार।
हो आपके लाइट चली है क्या लगता है? मतलब समझ गया। अच्छा अच्छा, चलिए फिर अब तो सभी विचार आ गए। आप भी मंच में हमारे साथ में हैं। अपनी कोई विचार रखना है तो स्वागत है हमारे साथ में। हमारे जी मनीष जी कोई जुड़े हुए हैं। चलिए, आज तो बड़ी अच्छी सारगर्भित चर्चा रही है और बहुत ही इन्फॉर्मेटिव, गुरु जी ने सही बताया। हालांकि आदरणीय डॉक्टर शेखर दोषी जी एक बार और चर्चा किए थे शायद युवा दिवस वाले दिन 11 जनवरी को या कभी, उन्होंने पूरी स्टोरी बताई थी कि कैसे शिप के रास्ते से गए और कितनी क्राइसिस थी, और जो स्वास्थ्य की हानि उनको हुई वो अल्टीमेटली फिर उनको उनके शरीर पुणत्व की तरफ ले गई। और जो आपने मार्मिक दृष्ट प्रस्तुत किया था कि घर में इतने लर्नेड लॉयर होने के बाद उस फैमिली में ऐसे क्राइसिस के दिन आ गए कि फैमिली मेंबर्स को पूरा खाना भी नहीं उपलब्ध होता था, तो ये बड़ा आज की समय तो बहुत कष्टप्रद हुआ। उसके बाद आज ईश्वर की इतनी कृपा हुई कि पूरा बेल्लावर मठ रामकृष्ण मठ बने हमारे हरिद्वार में, तो बहुत ही अच्छी है व्यवस्था है। सारे उनके त्योहार मनाए जाते हैं। माता इनकी शारदा मणि जी का भी जन्मोत्सव वगैरह मनाते हैं, रामकृष्ण मिशन जी का मनाते हैं, रामकृष्ण जी का, और बड़ा अस्पताल बंगाली हॉस्पिटल उसी नाम से, और विवेकानंद जी की दोनों ही तिथियां मनाई जाती हैं। तो अब तो खैर 100 साल से ऊपर हो गए, सब कुछ स्थितियां बदल गई, भारत भी स्वतंत्र हो गया, तो कुछ कुछ चीजें आगे बढ़ी हैं। उनकी कर्मयोग की जो बात आपने रखी वो बहुत ही अनुकरणीय है आज के जमाने में, बहुत आवश्यक है, बल्कि युवा को अपनी सही लाइन पे लाने के लिए बहुत कुछ उनके जो बौद्धिक हैं विचार हैं वो मैंने RSS वगैरह में भी रखे गए हैं, आर्ष वाक्य के रूप में कि है जागृत में है। तो अच्छा लगा उनके बारे में जानकारियां लेके। आप सबका बहुत बहुत आभार है, धन्यवाद है आपका आज की चर्चा में अपना अनुभव शेयर करने के लिए। सभी को प्रणाम, सभी को शुभ रात्रि।
शुभ रात्रि सर, नमस्कार।
शुभ रात्रि, नमस्कार।
गुड नाइट टू ऑल, गुड नाइट। गुड नाइट सर।
गुड नाइट हो गया, आप तो गुड नाइट हो।